sex scandal involving a former Penn State football coach has caused two other Penn State staff members to step down. The athletic director, Tim Curry, and the senior vice president for business and finance, Gary Schultz, face charges of failing to report they knew about alleged sexual abuse of children.
The trial over Michael Jackson's death is deliberating and on a final verdict for Jackson's doctor, Conrad Murray, in Los Angeles today. Murray is pleading not guilty to charges of involuntary manslaughter. The defense says Jackson, not Murray, gave himself the injection that killed him. If convicted, Murray faces up to 4 years in jail.
We've heard it for years. Wikipedia is not an acceptable source. But a new report from Turnitin.com says some students aren't quite getting it. Julie Grace Brefke has more on what this means for college students.
The anti-plagiarism website Turnitin.com is finding more and more college students are using sites like Wikipedia, Yahoo Answers, and Answers.com instead of scholarly sources. The analysis also says that Wikipedia is the top source for borrowed content in papers.
I have looked at Wikipedia to help using a paper. Typically, I follow sources. Sometimes on Wikipedia they have annotations with reference sources, and I use those all the time.
Like I get the assignment, they hand out a little piece of paper, the assignment or the prompt, and I look at it. It's the very first thing for like 2 hours, and then I try to stay away from it forever.
Professors at American University have expressed mixed feelings on whether using sites like Wikipedia can be beneficial when writing a paper.
Wikipedia can be a frequent initial impulse for research, so I definitely do take a look at them, but we have sort of a little bit of a workshop on Wikipedia and what you can use at Wikipedia and what you should be quite wary of at Wikipedia. Who founded it and what they do and how it's peer reviewed and how it works. And that made me actually trust Wikipedia less. So I think Wikipedia can be used if it's judiciously referenced. You take a look at the footnotes and see what they're referencing. I think it could be a good starting point, but Wikipedia definitely is not pushing toward any sort of scholar.
In a way, I don't see a lot of that in my classes because I don't allow them to use those kinds of sources. I mean, I require them to use scholarly journals. So they can't use Wikipedia as a primary source. So I don't see it that much personally. I'm not surprised by it.
For more information on finding reliable sources for your academic work, check out american.edu/library. For District Wire News, this has been Julie Grace Brefke.
American University's dorms have been hit by a string of nighttime thefts in the last few weeks. So what can students do to keep their belongings safe? Rachel Bay joins us with more. Rachel?
There's a burglar on the loose in Anderson Hall. Someone has been sneaking in at night and stealing their laptops while they were sound asleep. Unfortunately, these victims didn't find out their laptops were missing until they got up the next morning.
An Anderson resident has to get through the rest of the semester without his laptop. On Saturday morning, a student woke up and noticed their laptop missing. Several reports of theft in Anderson Hall have been reported to public safety this week.
Basically, residents just came down and reported that their laptop had been stolen, at which point public safety got involved.
According to RA Sarah Messenger, similar patterns of theft occurred this semester on the 3rd, 4th, and 5th floors of Anderson Hall. Based on these patterns, Sarah is convinced the robber who stole the laptop this past weekend is the same person who stole from the other floors.
It was the same pattern of theft in every room.
Students are receiving emails from their RAs about recent burglaries in Southside dorms.
Our RA sent us an email, and she basically said that there's been a few break-ins, I guess, and a few thefts from people's rooms, and reminded us to lock our doors and deadbolt them.
RHA member Allison Sweetek believes the robber is targeting freshmen because they're known to keep their doors unlocked.
And a lot of people know that freshmen leave their doors unlocked or even just open. The terrace 1st and 2nd floor are all sophomores, and I have not heard of any thefts on those floors.
Residents should keep their doors locked at all times and report any strange behavior going on.
Even though it is a hassle to bring your key with you, even when you go to the bathroom, it is really important for everyone to keep their doors locked at all times, especially when they're asleep.
Thanks, Rachel.
Last January, AU announced that the Washington College of Law would move to Tenley Circle in the next 10 years. But local groups have opposed this plan at every step of the way. Until now. Zach Drescher has the story.
The Massachusetts Avenue home of the WCL houses 2,000 students. but American University wants to raise that number to 3,000. To do that, they are moving the entire school down to Tenley Circle, a place some of the neighbors remember quite differently.
My sisters all went to high school there before it was American University owned it. There was a Catholic all-girls high school there, Immaculata College.
The Immaculata Seminary was built in 1904, 82 years before AU bought the land. Those 100-year-old buildings are being preserved, but the others are not so lucky.
The three buildings, Congressional, Constitution, Federal, those three will be demolished.
And some of Tenley's neighbors are worried the law school might make traffic worse.
It's already a very trafficy area. It's not going to help, I can tell you that much. Although maybe a lot more will come by metro, you can only hope.
Tenley is much closer to the metro stop. That's probably the biggest advantage of the new location.
The shuttle is another step after the metro, and that adds 15 or 20 minutes to get here. I think it would make it easier if the campus was closer to the metro.
But help might be a long way off. The Tenley project is still in the planning phase, and construction isn't supposed to start for another year and a half.
So we are shooting for beginning construction mid-2013, and then 2 years later, in 2015, it will be completed.
The next step is for the university to take the plan before a series of public hearings. They're scheduled for November 21st and December 1st. In Tenley campus, Zach Drescher, District Wire News.
Up next, surprise, surprise, the Redskins lose again. Find out what's next for them and the latest in campus sports after the break.